Hey, Riz here with the Samurai Jack Achievement Guide. We'll be going over 3 achievements for one. I'm just going to show you one playthrough and you can get the idea for the rest. So I'm going to go through the Ace of Clubs achievement, which is for getting the club achievement, beating the entire level using only a club. Now you can use the same method on all weapons, but I'm using the club, Spirit Hammer, kind of to show you an idea of what we are doing here because these are breakable weapons. Obviously the fist and the samurai sword are non-breakable, so those are pretty easy and self-explanatory. What you're going to want to do is you want to use Aku's Mines, first level, put on the easiest difficulty, Jack. Now, I'm kind of showing you the weapons here I have. Basically, I'm going to go with the club first because I have multiple of them. So what you can do is you can either wait a while, go through the game, either by buying weapons in the store, or collecting them from enemies. When you use the throw ability, the RB, when you have your fists out, you can take the weapon from them when they're about dead. So either you build up a bunch of them or have a couple of them at least before you attempt this achievement, because you cannot repair on the first level. So if you try to go for the achievement and then you cannot repair, it'll break and you might be stuck with no other weapons. So make sure you have at least a couple of them. On the easiest difficulty, it should be pretty doable with a few weapons at best, depending upon which ones you have and their durability. I use this mace, which has got a pretty high durability, so I didn't have to change weapons at all. Some of the weaker ones, like if you're going for the staff ones, like the bamboo stick, that will probably break midway through your run. So either you have to have a couple of them, or either use a different weapon entirely, because that thing will break halfway through this mission, even on the easiest difficulty. So like I said, make sure you have multiple weapons before attempting this achievement, and either you can get them from the store, chests, or from stealing them from enemies. When you use the RB button, when you have your fists out, you can take it from them when they're about dead. Other than that, this should be a pretty easy run through. Don't worry about collecting anything, just kill the enemies and run through the level as fast as you can. I can get this done in about 4 to 7 minutes depending upon how fast enemies die from each weapon. And obviously use your ultimate ability with each weapon when you have the opportunity to, and save one for the last boss, which usually should one hit him pretty much. So save at least one for the last boss. You can use probably one. I use one more right up here after this little area. When you get surrounded by a whole bunch of these little beetles, I use my first one here. I just saved the second one for the boss fight just to end it really quickly. The other only note that I should say that when you get to like the little swamp area with the alligators, also don't use your throwing stars. Don't throw enemies while doing this achievement run. Should probably mention that a little bit earlier. Don't throw anybody, because I think throwing them also voids achievement because you're killing them with other means besides your main weapon. So don't use ranged weapons like your bow and arrow. Don't use any projectile throwing weapons. And don't throw anybody, because all that will void the achievements. Make sure you're only killing enemies with the weapon you're going for. All that voids the achievement. Back to what I was saying about the swamp area. When you get to the swamp area, there will be guys on top of the building shooting at you. There's only one of them you need to actually kill, which is the very first little area you get to, where he's on top of the roof and he's shooting at you. Just either jump up if you can and melee him, or press the LB button to reflect his shot. It's kind of like a timed shot thing. So just kind of spam the LB button. It doesn't have to be precise. Just make sure you hit the LB button, and some shots will go back to him and will kill him as well. I had a hard time with the other weapons to be able to jump up there and hit him because he's constantly shooting at you, so you're being knocked down on the ground. So you can't really actually hit him with the weapons, some of them. So it's just best to reflect the shots back at him. So just keep that in mind, that you do not throw any weapons at him. No throwing stars, none of that. Otherwise the achievement will be void. It's a pretty quick run through here. All you gotta do is get these next few areas and fight the boss. Use your ultimate on him, which should basically one-shot him, and your achievement should be yours. Now you can do the same method on all weapons on the first level. I'm just showing you the weapons that'll break, considering that, you know, they're a little bit trickier because they will tend to break, and you also need to go through the game just a little bit to build up an actual amount of weapons. If you are using a weaker weapon that might break pretty fast, that we have a couple. Other than that, the rest are pretty self-explanatory. That's why I'd show you a little bit of tips on this to how you get through this pretty easy. Other than that, all the achievements should be pretty done on the first level, and that's pretty simple. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and I'll get back to you with some more Samurai Jack achievements.